Can you imagine a world without computers? What would life look like? Let's take a journey back in time before the era of computers. Life was much slower, and tasks that we now accomplish in mere seconds could take hours, even days. Every mathematical calculation, every piece of data processed, was done manually. Picture an office filled with rows of desks, each cluttered with stacks of paper, the air filled with the sound of typewriters clacking away. Imagine painstakingly creating graphs by hand, crunching numbers without the help of a spreadsheet. In a world increasingly driven by data and numbers, this laborious process was far from efficient. It was time-consuming, and it was prone to human error. The world was crying out for a solution, a machine that could automate these calculations and data processing. This need for efficiency and speed in calculations led to the birth of an invention that would change the world forever. Opening. The year was 1946 when the world was introduced to its first computer. And the name of this groundbreaking machine was the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, or more commonly known as the ENIAC. Born out of the necessity of war, the ENIAC was a marvel of its time. This was a machine that was designed and built during the throes of World War II, with a very specific purpose in mind: to aid in artillery trajectory calculations. This meant that the ENIAC was used to determine the precise angles and propulsion needed for artillery shells to hit their targets. It was a task that required complex mathematical calculations, ones that would take a human hours to complete. But for the ENIAC, it was a walk in the park. Now let's talk about the sheer size of this beast. The ENIAC was a behemoth, taking up a whopping 1,800 square feet of space. That's roughly the size of a small house. It was packed with 17,000 vacuum tubes, 70,000 resistors, 10,000 capacitors, and around 5 million hand-soldered joints. All this just to perform basic calculations. However, despite its size and complexity, the ENIAC had its limitations. For one, it was not a stored program computer, meaning it couldn't store program instructions in its memory. Instead, programming the ENIAC was a manual and laborious process, involving the adjustment of switches and cables. Moreover, it consumed a massive amount of power, approximately 150 kilowatts. That's enough to light up a small town. And let's not forget, it was not exactly user-friendly. Operating the ENIAC required a deep understanding of the machine's complex architecture. But these limitations didn't overshadow the significance of the ENIAC. It was a pioneering invention that marked the beginning of a new era in technology. It paved the way for the development of more advanced and compact computers. Closing. This was just the beginning of a technological revolution. From a room-sized machine to a device that fits in our pockets, the computer has come a long way. Let's begin this journey of evolution by stepping back into the mid-20th century. Picture this: colossal mainframe computers. These behemoths, often taking up entire rooms, were the forerunners of the digital age. They were primarily used by large organizations for tasks such as code breaking, weather forecasting, and conducting scientific research. But as the 60s rolled around, a groundbreaking invention changed the game entirely: the microprocessor. This tiny yet potent piece of technology allowed for the miniaturization of computers. The first commercially available microprocessor, the Intel 4004, was roughly the size of a fingernail, yet it had the computing power of the ENIAC, a computer that once took up an entire room. With the advent of the microprocessor, the 70s saw the birth of personal computers. The Apple II, the Commodore PET, and the IBM PC, for instance, brought computing power to homes and small businesses. They were smaller, more affordable, and more accessible than their mainframe ancestors. Then, in the 90s, the internet became publicly accessible, paving the way for a new era of interconnected computing. The World Wide Web transformed computers from standalone devices to nodes in a global network. Email, online shopping, social media, and streaming services, all these became possible because of this interconnectedness. In the new millennium, the evolution of computers took another giant stride with the advent of smartphones. The BlackBerry, the iPhone, and their successors put the power of a computer right in our pockets. Today we carry in our palms devices more powerful than the computers used to land Apollo 11 on the moon. And here we stand today, in a world where computers are woven into the fabric of our lives. They're in our homes, our cars, our schools, and even our pockets. We use them to work, to learn, to communicate, and to entertain ourselves. These advancements have made computers an integral part of our lives. How have computers transformed our world? To fully grasp the extent of this transformation, let's take a trip through various aspects of society, exploring how computers have revolutionized our lives. In the realm of communication, computers have broken down the barriers of time and space. People from different corners of the globe can now engage in real-time conversations, fostering a sense of global community. Electronic mail, social media, video conferencing, these are all gifts from the computer age, making our world smaller and more connected. Next, let's turn our attention to education. Computers have made knowledge more accessible than ever. Online learning platforms, digital libraries, and educational apps have democratized learning, making it possible for anyone with internet access to learn anything, anytime, anywhere. The traditional classroom has been expanded to include virtual environments, opening up a world of possibilities for remote learning and distance education. On the business front, computers have revolutionized operations, making them more efficient and cost-effective. Automation has streamlined production processes, while data analysis has enhanced decision-making. E-commerce has opened up global markets, enabling businesses to reach customers beyond their geographical limitations. Entertainment hasn't been left behind either. Computers have transformed the way we consume media. Streaming services, online gaming, digital art. These are just a few examples of how computers have revolutionized entertainment. In a nutshell, computers have made tasks easier, faster, and more efficient. They've opened up new avenues for creativity and innovation and have drastically improved our quality of life. But the transformation doesn't stop here. As computers continue to evolve, they will undoubtedly usher in even more changes, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and reshaping our world in ways we have yet to imagine. Indeed, computers have reshaped our world in ways we could have never imagined. What does the future hold for computers? A question that tickles the curiosity of tech enthusiasts and casual users alike. The answer? A horizon teeming with advancements and innovations. Consider quantum computing, an emerging technology that promises to dwarf the processing power of today's computers, solving complex problems at mind-boggling speeds. Then there's artificial intelligence, a field that's pushing the boundaries of what computers can achieve, from self-driving cars to diagnosing diseases. But let's not forget virtual reality. It's not just for gaming anymore. Imagine, if you will, walking through a virtual museum, experiencing history like never before, or conducting business meetings in a fully interactive, immersive environment. These are but glimpses of what the future may hold. But as we marvel at these potential developments, we must also consider the ethical and societal implications they bring. As we move forward, one thing is certain: the computer's journey is far from over.